But first, let me make a disclaimer. Some definitions here are just for educational purpose. They can be very complex and giving. Yeah, I'm giving a simplified version. Let's begin by endpoint. In an API, an endpoint is a URL. For example, when you want to reach the Google, you write www.google.com. It is an endpoint where all the information about Google can be accessed from. An API is an interface that tells your PC or cell phone, for example, in how to reach some information on the application server. So if you want to see a photo on Facebook server, you enter the endpoint www.facebook.com slash some photo. The set of all endpoints the set of all endpoints defined by the programmer is called API. Middleware, these are functions that takes any request from the user before it reaches the endpoints. So when you subscribe to a new software, for example Yahoo, and you make an account, before this request gets to the final endpoints of verification, a verification happens inside the middleware. So middlewares are functions that are before the endpoint to make some verification or security or something more. You see this throughout the course a little better, and I'll show you that what I'm doing is a middleware and why we are doing it. Callbacks is a function. So let's imagine that we have a function A that is passed as an argument. So the callback is passed as an argument in another function B. The function B calls the function A in some point in its execution. I will show these concepts again in the future, and I will show examples. But now let's continue. The word async. When we request information from a server on the internet, the request and the server response travel through the internet, and this takes a time. The time is called async because we do not know when the response will arrive. In contrast, sync operations are instantaneously. Functions that make internet requests are called async functions. Promises. These are async functions that returns an object as a response. This response could be an error or a request information, some data that the server sends back to you. So when you enter a URL in your PC or cell phone, you are making a request. The server responds with a response. This response can be an error or a data that you requested. As you see, all these concepts here are connected. The more two concepts that are together are async and await. This async here is different, some kind different from the first one, but has some relation because this async here is a function, and await is a function too. These two names are to make another way to write promises, but is much easier for understanding, and we need to use the try and catch blocks to use this async and wait. So I will show in the future how to write async await promises. And finally, we have the REST API. So we are creating a REST API for communicate to our backend with the front end on Unity. This REST API is an architecture style that uses HTTP requests to access and retrieve data from a server. Example of this is HTTP requests we will use is get, put, post, and delete. So when I write a get, a put, a post, or delete or something similar, I will tell you that this is the these HTTP functions that we are using in the set of endpoints plus using these HTTP request functions. These forms a REST API. So this is it. Throughout the course, I will restate these concepts and I show examples. So, but here we have a pretty good amount of examples that we definitions that we use throughout the course. And if some people do not know about them or try to find some explanation about them, the explanations are very difficult to understand. But here is a very simple way to make it to see it from my point of view. This is the third video of the series. If you want to have the information about the series and take the files, you can become my Patreon, and inside the Patreon page you can find all the links necessary to have all the parts of the series till now, of course. And I have a Discord group when we can discuss backend and Unity, some very topics. I can answer very quickly. So if you like, please subscribe and give a like to this channel, to the video. And I will see you in the next episode. So cheers. I see you later.